Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck. So, because Richard got me, he was so generous and got me a lovely Instant Pot Ultra for my birthday about a month ago already. Gosh, I'm getting so much older so quickly. I wanted to share with everybody the comparisons between the Ultra and the Duo series because I feel like a lot of people have questions about that. And it's actually pretty much the exact same thing you're going to find out and see, but just with a little more flair and style to the Ultra versus the Duo. I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's get started. So here we have our typical Instant Pot Duo, which is a series of either a 5-quart, a 6-quart, or an 8-quart. The most popular model seems to be the 6-quart among all Instant Pot owners. So what we typically do on the Duo series is we typically use these two buttons the most, which is Saute and Manual, which also means setting it to the pressure cooking level that we want. The pressure button's deceiving because all it does actually, for instance, if I hit Manual, it just toggles between low pressure and high pressure. That's all that does, and we rarely cook anything on low pressure. So that's pretty much what we mostly use for our Instant Pot Duo series. Of course, there are presets. People like to use the yogurt function, the poultry function, but rarely does anyone, I feel like, ever use soup or multi-grain. I mean, these are buttons that are pretty to look at, but I don't think they're used that often. And of course, we typically also use the keep warm cancel button to get back to this level. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you the Instant Pot Ultra. Look at it. First of all, there's a huge difference in style and aesthetic here. This thing is very, very pretty. It's more sleek looking. It would probably look sexier in a more modern kitchen than the one I have here in Queens. It sort of feels out of place, but what can you do? So watch what it does when I go to it. This one, all of a sudden, you see all the buttons are removed. We just have some, the presettings, but no buttons. We have a knob, and we have a start button and a cancel button down here. This is going to be our main course of action. Watch what happens when I touch it. It wakes up and it becomes pretty. Look at that pretty blue screen. I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this dial to select what we want. Now, instead of manual, you see manual here, the new button is called pressure cook. It's the same exact thing. So let's say we want to go to saute. All I do is spin my dial till we go to the one that's blinking, and that's how we select what we want. It does a 360, as you can see, or either way is fine. So let's hit saute, okay? I press the button in. That's selecting the function. Everything else gets blackened out. Then you'll see that this level here is starting to blink and flash, which means that I'm in that setting. I want to hit the enter button again on the dial to adjust time. So let's say I want to saute. Time really doesn't matter on saute because you just really do it by eye. It only goes up to 30 minutes anyway, just like on the Duo series. So let's just say 30 minutes. So I press the dial in. And then the temperature. I want it to be, let's say, high. Now you've also noticed this is low, medium, and high now, whereas on the older models, on the Duo, it's less, normal, more. I'm glad they switched it to low, medium, high, because to me that makes more sense in temperature setting. So let's say we want it on high. The one that's flashing is the one we're going to select. High. Okay, we're done. So now what we want to do is hit start, and poof, it starts. Simple as that. I'm going to hit cancel to finish this, and we're going to go now up to pressure cook. I'm going to show you it's the exact same thing. So hit the button once we're flashing, that's the setting we want. We hit the dial and press it in. We set our time, let's say it's only like, I don't know. The quicker, by the way, you move the dial, the quicker it changes time. It goes much quicker, you see? So you want to be a little bit slower to adjust to be more finely tuned. So let's say 6 minutes, okay? I hit the enter button. Now what pressure do we want? Do we want high? Do we want low? We want it on high pressure, so we leave it at that. You can delay the time to start later. I'm going to leave that off. And now there's a huge additional thing here. You can now turn the keep warm function off so it doesn't automatically do that. So when this cooking is always done, it has L0:00 and starts cooking up and keeping it on warm. And you don't have to do that. You can just hit keep warm cancel so it doesn't do that. But here you have the option. You could either have it on keep warm automatically or not. So let's say I don't want it. I hit this. Remember, the one that's flashing is the one you select. Press again. Off. And I have all my settings are ready to go. I would simply hit start. Simple as that. So you see there's also a little graph now when it's cooking, like preheating, it'll say then cooking and then keep warm, 3 steps. It doesn't change or alter based on what's cooking. It's just a cute little graphic to show you the progress of where things are. And it's really a cute little extra function there to see where it stands in terms of progress. And the biggest difference that I feel like between the Ultra and the Duo are the lids on top. It's pretty much the exact same thing, cooking style, just with different kind of button configurations. This has less buttons, this has more buttons. This one lights up all pretty, this one has tiny little LED lights. This one is absolutely prettier, and it has that cute little thing in the bottom showing progress, if that makes any difference to you. But I also really do like the knob situation, and it goes to sleep after not much use. It's a really nice, handy situation here. But back to the lids, here's the differences I'm going to show you. So on the Duo series, this is the 60, which is the 6 quart. When the pin is, there's no pressure in there, the pin is below level of being at the same level as the rest of the lid here. When it comes to pressure, it pops up and becomes flush with it. Whereas on the Duo 80, it's the opposite. It's actually at flush level when there's no pressure, and then it becomes poop. It goes higher than the actual level of the pot once it's at pressure, which is exactly what the Ultra's lid does as well. As you can see, it's flush when it's not at pressure, and when it does come to pressure, it pops up like the IP Duo 80. But the biggest difference is how you release steam. Here on the Duo series, on any of the lids, it's in sealing position when the little nozzle's this way. When we're done, we have to push it towards us, and all the steam comes out in venting position. Now, we no longer have to go over here or worry about, burning your finger, which you won't anyway on this one if you just do it nice and carefully. I've done this a million times and I have never burned my finger. But what you do now is, all you do is when you want to release the steam, you just simply press this button down, that pops up, and it's all going to pop up. When you're done, all you have to do is just take your finger and go like that, and it pops right back up. And now it's in sealing position again. So let's say you want to release steam slowly, all you do is just press it down manually, nice and simply. But if you want it all releasing at once, just simply press it down, and it's all going to come out. And again, when it's done to reset it and put it back into sealing position, all you do is come here and just flick it up like that. Super, super easy. And also, you'll notice that on the Ultra, the handlebar has this sexy silver stripe. Yes, I said sexy silver stripe. And our Duo lacks that, which is a nice little, aesthetically pleasing plus, just like the rest of this beautiful unit. So let's open the lid, and we're going to just get inside, and you'll see the trivet that this comes with is slightly different than the one that the Duo came with. Granted, I have a feeling, I've been told from other people that everyone's received sort of varying trivets when they've received their Instant Pots. This one to me is the most convenient one because it really holds things there. There's really little room for things to seep or fall through. This one, on the other hand, is pretty large in terms of holes, and things can fall through there. But, I mean, who am I to complain? It's nice they even give us one in the first place, and if you have like a big piece of meat, it's going to easily sit on there. It's more for like, if you cut chunks of potatoes up, they might easily fall through this, where this one they're going to easily rest. But since I have two now, I can simply use that one instead of this one in this pot. Now, my only criticism really of the Ultra is I wish the pressure cook and saute functions, because we use those two the most, or at least I do, I feel like most people do, were right next to each other, so I can just do it like this instead of having to go all the way down there like this. But in all honesty, that's not a big deal at all. First world problems, people. We also have 4 new buttons on this one that we did not have on the Duo. We have Cake, Egg, Sterilize, and Ultra. Now, Ultra, that function is essentially like a sous-vide function where you can control that the temperature is on here, and you can make it cook at a certain temperature the entire time. Now, is it as accurate as a sous vide? Absolutely not, I'm assuming, but it's nice to have that little like virtual sous vide function on the pot itself. And for those who aren't sure what a sous vide is, it means you can control exactly what the temperature is that something cooks at. And usually it takes a lot longer, but it cooks apparently meat super accurately. Again, this isn't an actual sous vide, it's more like a virtual sous vide, but I'll show you how it works. For instance, I'm going to select the Ultra setting, which is sous vide, I might as well call it that. And what you want to do down here is we want to go to pressure, we'll hit the pressure on to none. That means there's no pressure cooking. Then on the temperature setting, I'm going to hit custom, which is going to now allow me to choose what I want the temperature to be. It goes all the way from 208 degrees to 104 degrees. You can range within there. And so let's say I want it at 121 degrees. And then what I do then is I'm going to go to the time. You can now go up to 99 hours in terms of cooking on this thing. That's because sous vide takes a very long time. Sometimes you could even, cook it for 2 days straight on sous vide. Again, I've never done it before, but if you want that option, it's a really nice plus to have. Even though it's probably not as accurate as an actual sous vide, it's nice to have in general. But I absolutely love this thing. I highly recommend it to anybody who's in the market for a new Instant Pot or wants to get a nice fancy one for maybe even a nicer kitchen and you want it to really fit in more nicely. This is the one to go with, guys. And that concludes my little comparison of the Ultra versus the Duo. I hope you guys found it a little bit helpful in case you were curious on how to use it. I know most people don't really seem to have the Ultra right now, but hopefully if you're interested or in the market for a new Instant Pot, I would highly recommend getting that one, especially since right now it's really only available on Sur La Table, or Sur Table, however you pronounce it. On Amazon they have it, but it's booked up back for like 3 to 5 months, and you can't really get it on back order. And you can kind of almost get it for the exact same price as you could for the Instant Pot Duo Plus if you find the right coupons on like Retail Me Not or whatnot on Sur La Table. So I highly recommend the Ultra if you guys are in the market for a new Instant Pot, but if not, the Instant Pot Duo Plus will do just fine. It also has a nice new display on there. It's more button-based if you prefer buttons. It's really up to you. But if you don't mind a dial and some nice light-up illuminated buttons on the side or settings on the side, you're gonna love this one. There you go, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm at pressureluckcooking.com or go to facebook.com/pressureluckcooking. And again, I'm here for you. But the bottom line is, any Instant Pot that you guys use, you're gonna love. They all pretty much produce the exact same result. They're just, a little bit different in terms of the bells and whistles that are on the unit themselves. So it's completely up to you. If you like buttons, go with more of the Duo series. If you want more of a knob with flashy illuminated settings on the side, go with the Ultra. The choice is yours. You're still gonna have delicious food no matter which you pick. Let's get cooking and have some fun doing it. Enjoy.